Welcome to Rich Conversations. This is another one of our weekly guided reflection sessions where we're going to take about 40 to 55 minutes out of our day to simply just think more intentionally about our own life. Now, I will ask questions that I have not prepared beforehand. That's what makes it fun for me. It's spontaneous, on the go. And what we'll do is answer them so that we're more thoughtful in the actions we want to take moving forward in the direction we want to be headed in life. I'm so glad you're here. This is fun for me. I have a good time. I hope you have a good time too. And with that being said, I'm wearing my LA Dodgers hat because they won the World Series. The Dodgers are my fifth favorite team behind the Brewers, White Sox, Cubs, and Yankees. A little delayed, but hey, here we are. Let's start this session how we do every session, and that's 5 minutes of breathing. I'll set a timer for 5 minutes, and we're going to sit up straight and just breathe in and breathe out. There's really nothing more to it. And if thoughts come up, just let them pass. They're not important. So for 5 minutes, let's just breathe. All right. So that's 5 minutes of breathing. How are we feeling? Hopefully recentered. Because it gives us focus on how we are going to answer these moving forward, these questions. I'm recording this at night, so I might be yawning a little bit. I drank a Pepsi before this. Very uncharacteristic. I was doing some really busy work, just like on the computer. Very like not creative tasks. And I'm like, how can I not hate this? I was like, I want something with some pep to it. So I drank a Pepsi. But my body's pretty wired in a way. I don't know. Anyways, let's begin. The first question is, what are we grateful for? This is always a great place to start because it kind of anchors our framework with a positive outlook. And just doing this, it might seem mundane. It might seem maybe pointless. One of these sessions isn't going to change your life, but when you consistently create this habit of just reflecting on your life, being thoughtful, thinking about different moments, how can you draw a positive meaning from it that can help you moving forward? Like doing this consistently over time makes everything you do in life easier. And as a human being, you're just more effective in everything. It's outstanding. And a lot of people don't have the patience to do stuff like this or take the time and effort throughout their day and week and months and year to doing these little things that add up, these little steps. Gratitude and patience. Start there. Second question, what is a beverage that is a indulgence to you? The way I just drink a Pepsi and I know it's not good for me, I did it anyways. Because I'm an American and I have the freedom to do that. Yeah, I was thinking about American diets. Yeah, overall, our food isn't quite healthy. Sugars are just Trojan horsed into everything. You think something as harmless as barbecue sauce would not be unhealthy for you, but then you look at the sugars and like a tablespoon or one serving's like 17 grams of sugar. It's crazy. So what's a beverage we indulge in? Yeah, soda tastes pretty good though. I will say. There's so many different carbonated beverages on the market now. I feel like that's with life. There's just so much abundance, so much choice, so much complexity that it becomes so burdensome, and the mind just has a harder time operating within it. I think that's the biggest issue right now, kind of in the world or in America. It's just this like overstimulation, overabundance, and just like constant bombardment on our mind. And that's especially why stuff like this is important, to center ourselves so that we can be more precise in this world of complexity. And we can simplify our life within this complex world, but in a way that is what we want, you know? I was talking to somebody the other day. They were looking for a DVD player. And I was like, do you just want to play DVDs on your TV? Is that all? Do you have Blu-ray DVDs? No. Yeah, so you just need like something super simple and do that. That's what I do. In the farmhouse that we're recording, I don't have Wi-Fi. And so I have really enjoyed not having access to the abundance of all the streaming services. There's just like too much. And then I often don't pick anything. It creates more stress. Here you can just like pick a DVD. Oh, I physically only have this. And you play it. It's really interesting. I've been thinking a lot about that dynamic of like living a more simplified, more analog life within a digital complex world. I don't believe in abstaining from participating in the world or the digital world or the complex world. It's just a matter of being intentional, understanding what we want out of life, what we're trying to do, and just live that. And it's pretty liberating because you don't have to worry about what other people are doing or how other people are living. It's just you decide what you like, what you want, and just live that. So what does that look like for you? You know, what kind of life do you want to be living in kind of this overstimulated, overabundant world? I think that's what is leading a lot of people in society to feel anxious, depressed, the feeling of suffering. I think it all stems from like lack of fundamentals and not deciding beforehand how to participate and engage in the world. It's like just going into the world with no plan, no instructions, so you're going to get dragged around everywhere. I think that's so important today, more than any other time in history. It's like really practicing fundamentals, really understanding kind of who you are and what you're trying to do in the world, and then kind of go out into it. there's certainly elements of like, you learn from being out in the world, and then you kind of reorganize what you want, like from it. You're always kind of giving and taking, but I think it's important to really have an approach with interacting with it, a philosophy, if you will. Yeah, like something that's on my mind is I'll always hear people talk about the world these days, and it's a negative filter that they're presenting it as. The world's messed up, the world's burning, whatever. We should ask people more, what's going right in the world? What is good in the world? And that recenters the framework of how we're looking at the world. There's so much beauty. And it's kind of jarring to me when people will mention about how like dismal the world is. I see that aspect of it. I can see where someone could react that way, but at the same time, it's are that many people missing the beauty and the good and the amazing? Is it a matter of what's being presented to us? A lot of it is going back to these, what do you call them? These smartphones? And people using them dumb. I don't know. Be intentional with it. Look at this. We got 3 iPhones here in the space. Use them like a rocket ship. Speaking of rocket ship, we've been working on a children's book called The Boy and the Rocket Ship with my friend Ken Ferguson. He's an illustrator, and our values, our message we're very aligned, and so it's been fun working together on this project. And our book will be released December 17th. Children's book, just in time for Christmas. And it's fun. It's cool. I'm really energized by the images that he's coming up with, the final ones. So what's a children's book that has influenced you in your life? A children's picture book. Whoops. I reread The Giving Tree recently. Shel Silverstein, is that the name? I enjoyed that. Humans, man, we are taking a lot. So let's be thinking about how we can give more. I I really like the simplicity of those older books. Not just the story, but also the illustrations. It seems like now every book, there's like this certain like color palette or like style that uses all this color, and I don't think it's necessary, which is why it's black and white. It's like Grayscale, The Boy and the Rocket Ship. And it's just like simplicity, getting back to simplicity and telling the story in like a simple way. And they look so cool. I've really enjoyed this creative process and having these bigger creative projects to work on. I'm writing a novel right now, The Gate of Clouds, and about 2/3 of the way through. But this week, daylight savings happened. And I've been enjoying like waking up at 5 a.m. and then, getting to work, just writing this. And the world is quiet, it's dark outside, I light candles and incense, it's great. It brings me so much joy. But daylight savings happened, and it's lighter an hour earlier. So it's like thrown off my flow. And I'm kind of like bummed out by it. My writing hasn't been, it's been herky-jerky this week. It's like every day I do work at it, but it's not like it's not coming as natural this last week. Yeah, books can really inspire us. They can really feed us with knowledge and instructions for how to live great lives, how to be a part of the world, how to engage with the world. And books, it's interesting too, because it's you're reading the thoughts from one person's mind, right? It goes from the mind to the paper or computer. And then someone else, those words, whether they're on, a screen or a piece of paper, then go to the other person's mind. So it's just like one by one kind of thing, and I find that really enjoyable. What have you been reading recently? Let me know. And more importantly, like, what are we learning from it? Like, what are we, even if you haven't finished it, but like something you've been reading that you're gaining value from it and you can apply it to your life. Like, what is that for you? So I have a subject that I'm studying right now, and that's Taylor Swift. I'm really fascinated by the phenomenon that's occurring, that's happening. And I want to learn more about her. I want to learn more about why this is. So often I hear, everything's niche, right? There's no more kind of mainstream. The pillars of monolith culture are gone. We're just holding on. But Taylor Swift has like transcended these trends in a way. And I find that absolutely interesting, fascinating. And so it's absorbed my last week. I've read maybe like 5 or 6 Taylor Swift books. And some of them are like children's books. And I'm really learning a lot. And I've really have come to appreciate her as not only a human, but as a performer and business person. So I'm learning from that. I think we can learn from anything. So it's a matter of like, what do you want to study? Or like, what are you trying to learn? And how can you study something you think would be fun and learn that lesson, right? So what's something for you want to learn more about? And how do you believe, what's a fun way you think you could gain that value, that insight? Yeah, so I'm studying Taylor Swift right now. And yeah, it's enjoyable. I've never really had strong feelings one way or the other about Taylor Swift. I did see Taylor Swift back in 2007 at Country Thunder in Wisconsin, front row. I was front row watching Taylor Swift. And just thinking about that moment and that evening to where she is now, it's stupefying. And I'm here for it. I respect that. Something about me is I respect greatness. I respect success. I'm not envious of it. I'm not hating on it. That's why, like, wearing this LA hat. They're going to win. They're going to win the championship. It's about the championship, right? I've studied Bill Belichick and to a lesser degree Tom Brady. But how did they do it? How did they become so successful? How did they keep winning? You know, I respect the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. You know, I respect like great and consistent results. That's what I'm interested in. The Beatles, Bob Dylan, some of my favorites. You know, Alabama football, Nick Saban, Pete Carroll, just like sustained greatness. I'm very curious about that. And so Taylor Swift is the subject of my study right now. And it's cool that it's a peer. She's my peer. She's a year younger than me. And so like learning about her journey, we were essentially the same age. While I'm reading this, we're the same age going through this journey. And I think that's special. It's something different. She's really the first peer that I'm studying. Or like first millennial who I've deemed as like worthy of studying. Most of the people I study are like dead or like older, but Taylor Swift is like a peer, and it's been interesting, and I'm gonna continue doing it over the next few weeks. It's been energizing, something different. It's something totally different that I'm used to, and especially her fans and the demographic. It's just it's a really good experience to understand and empathize with other humans that are going through like way different stuff than I am. So it's been interesting. Let's think back to a concert experience, a live music experience, and how has that impacted us? So choose one that you've experienced. How has that impacted you? Music really has a way to connect us in moments, whether it be with friends or like anything we're experiencing in life, right? There's like eras. And there's like few other things that do that, you know? Movies sometimes. I feel like that could be for a lot of people, movies, but for me, music has always been more like that. I'm more of a person who listens to sound over lyrics. And I'm more so someone who listens to a lot of like upbeat music, that energy. A lot of like French house, new disco, pop. Just like, let's go. I don't need to be getting all sad and stuff. Yeah, I think a shortcut to learn who people are and their perspectives they're coming from is asking them what music they listen to. And pretty quickly you can kind of like get a frame of reference. Music. Next question. Let's think of someone whose personality struck you as like just a different kind of personality. I was chatting with someone today, more about like a theatrical type, and it was like everything was so dramatic. I was like, wow, this is like a different personality that I'm used to communicating with. And I just kept thinking about that. And it's neither good or bad. It's just, it's interesting that humans can be so different. So what's a recent example of interacting with a radically different personality than we're used to? And that's what makes the world so amazing, right? That's some of the good in the world, right? How we can find something interesting in everybody. Everybody's kind of different. It's kind of like when I was thinking the other day about London and English in London. It's like English in America, but it's just like twisted or flipped. It's like weird to me. You know, there'll be a sign in the street that says, diversion ends. Diversion? What is it? What? Using like different words. It's just like, it's like if you had a painting on a wall. The English in London, the culture is just like crooked. Not crooked in any sense of like good or bad, but it's like different than what I'm used to. It's like it causes pause. Because it's not like going to a country with a foreign language than you're used to speaking. It's like the same language, but like it's a bit strange, wouldn't you say? But I think that was so appealing to me with the Beatles. I became a huge Beatles fan maybe when I was like, probably like 12, 13. Well, even before that with their more like early 60s, but music, the rock and roll. But the sound was like different. You know, it was different than other stuff I was hearing. And I think that has to do with just that London kind of like, that strangeness in a way. We have the holidays coming up. What are we looking forward to most this holiday season? You know, maybe we're looking forward to people, maybe the music. We've been talking about music. Maybe the food. Maybe just the like, again, the like difference, the kind of strangeness, the novelty of it. Or maybe we're looking forward to it just being over and not being here. You know, let's explore that a little bit. I think for me, I would answer, it's a great time for reflection. And maybe that's kind of Thanksgiving, or it's kind of like built into it when we discuss it, but it's like a great time to just kind of recenter, just think, okay, what happened this year? You know, practice gratitude. Think about all the blessings we've had. Think about all the good things in the world and in people. And also to kind of see, okay, what direction do we want to go in next year? And then pursue that. I've always enjoyed that. And my birthday is at the end of December. So it's a natural kind of, the year ends and also kind of my trip around, is it the sun? My trip around the sun. So it lines up, you know. So it's not like a May birthday. where you're doing like a yearly review, but then, another year of your life, you're doing another review. I can just do one. It's pretty sweet. I've never worked on my birthday. December 27th. Isn't that interesting? And I haven't been to school on my birthday. So I've never experienced school on my birthday or work on my birthday. It's always been like open, whatever I want. And the last few years, well, it's a good question, right? What do you enjoy doing on your birthday? Maybe you're someone who doesn't like celebrating your birthday. You just wants it as like just another day. Others, maybe you extended a whole week. I don't know. But on mine, the last few years, I would, the morning sessions have been fantastic. Meditating, drinking coffee, reading philosophy, journaling, doing something creative. And then I would go to the Field Museum in Chicago. And then I would go to the Art Institute in Chicago if it wasn't on a Tuesday or Wednesday. And then at night, I would do something with friends. It's the best. It's amazing. I'm someone who likes to indulge. This is my day. I'm going to do whatever I want. And it's usually open because I'm not at school or working. I do family beforehand. And I don't have a family of my own yet, so I'm just me on my birthday. But how do you enjoy spending your birthday? This last birthday, what did I? Yeah, I did that. Yeah, sometimes I have to coordinate a weekend date to have people over. And have a nice session at home, listen to some records, watch some photos, some photo albums that are organized, and go out in Chicago. It was a good time. Okay. We're coming up close to time. It's kind of in the spirit of celebrating and holidays coming up. How can we kind of channel that into what are we energized for in the next week? Yeah, what are we energized for? What are we looking forward to? What actions can we take that can really move the needle? Yeah, for me, it's writing. Just keep writing. Keep writing, baby. I'm at this really cool scene. It's really actually like a transformative plot-turning scene. It takes place in Paris, and it's at this show. We were talking about live music earlier. And so his friend's band is performing, and she puts a little spell on him. And he opens his eyes during the show, becomes very aware. Yeah, what a great space, too, that the show takes place in. Just a great overall time. I want to be doing that right now. I want to be at that show right now. And that's what kind of writing the novel has been like, is living these scenes and this story and being friends with these characters. It's been a great experience. I've really enjoyed it. And I'm starting to work on the outline of the next novel. So just focused on writing, I would say, right now. We have the children's book coming out. And then we have a whole series that we're sitting on, the Nuance and Notes series. And those will come out next year. And then the novels, and then we'll keep doing children's book together because Ken and I just have a great time working together, and we want to put positive messages out in the world. So life is pretty good. There are a lot of good things in life. And I want to thank you for being here today, taking the time out of your own life to just answer some simple questions about life so you can enjoy the life that you're going to create moving forward in the future. And that's energizing. Let me know. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you're energized for. It's beautiful. Again, these small steps add up. 1 snowflake, 2 snowflakes, 3. Many snowflakes create the snowfall. So you have a wonderful time living your life. Inspire the future.